submarinos allemands, translation, German submarines, more commonly known as U-boats during World War II, were instruments of considerable strategic significance. They were instrumental in instilling fear and disrupting Allied maritime operations, particularly in the Atlantic Ocean during the Battle of the Atlantic. These underwater vessels, termed U-boats, a German designation translating to underwater boat, formed a pivotal component of Germany's naval warfare strategy that focused on economic disruption by impeding Allied shipping lanes. The U-boats were primarily tasked with interrupting Allied maritime commerce by targeting merchant ships ferrying vital supplies, troops, and oil across major trade routes. This ferocious approach was aptly named the Total Underwater War, achieving notable success by sinking over 2,700 Allied ships. Operations were concentrated largely in the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean Sea, and along the coastal waters of the United States. The German U-boats were diversified into several types, each crafted to fulfill specific operational roles and confront diverse maritime scenarios. Among these, the Type 7 emerged as the most produced and utilized by the Kriegsmarine, the German Navy. This class was engineered for long-range operations, enjoying notable efficacy in Atlantic engagements. Known attributes of the Type 7 include a displacement of 769 tons when surfaced, a considerable range of 8,500 nautical miles, and an armament consisting primarily of torpedoes, typically 14, complemented by an anti-aircraft gun. A notable example of this class is the U-96, which gained fame through its cinematic portrayal in the film Das Boot. Another variant, the Type 9, was designed for extended patrols, particularly active in the South Atlantic and Indian Ocean. This class featured a larger displacement of 1,120 tons and an extensive range capability reaching up to 15,000 nautical miles, featuring enhanced torpedo capacity relative to the Type 7. A significant exemplar of this class is U-505, captured by the U.S. Navy. The TIPO XXI U-boot, or Elektroboot, signifies the pinnacle of technological advancement among German submarines during the war. Engineered for predominantly underwater operations, it featured considerably larger batteries, allowing for extended submersion periods. It laid the groundwork for contemporary submarine design, operating silently undersea at speeds of 17 knots, rendering it almost undetectable by Allied radar systems at its time of inception. However, its arrival was too late to alter the war's direction significantly. The Type 2 U-boot, contrastingly, was a smaller coastal submarine intended for shallow water operations. It saw usage largely for training purposes and minor operations within the Baltic Sea. Completing the lineup, the TIPO-14 Milk Cow served as supply submarines, effectively functioning as mid-ocean supply depots for other submarines, maintaining their operational endurance by providing refueling capabilities. German U-boot tactics were orchestrated under what was known as Wolfpack operations. Managed by Admiral Karl Donitz, these units worked in cohesive groups to execute coordinated attacks on escorted Allied convoys. Among the notable disruptions caused by the U-boats is the 1941 sinking of the British ship SS City of Benares, a tragedy that drew considerable controversy due to its passenger composition of refugees. Operations spanned key theaters including the North Atlantic, being a crucial lifeline for U.S. to Europe supply routes, and the Mediterranean, where efforts disrupted British activities around Malta and Egypt. Early strategic victories were even achieved along America's coastlines, with significant early successes recorded in 1942. Technology battles played a significant role as U-boats, initially technologically superior, faced diminishing strategic advantages. The Allies introduced new measures, including radar and sonar, which supported locating submerged submarines. The protection of convoys evolved with the introduction of armed destroyers and corvettes. Allied cryptology achievements, notably through decoding the Enigma communications, allowed preemptive awareness of U-boot maneuvers. Additionally, radar-equipped patrol aircraft enhanced maritime surveillance, utilizing depth charges to significant effect. The turning tide against U-boots became apparent post 1943, when the Battle of the Atlantic began favoring the Allies, marked by increasing German submarine sinking rates. Ultimately, 785 U-boots were destroyed throughout the war, costing the lives of a staggering 30,000 crew members, representing two-thirds of the German submariners. In retrospect, although U-boots failed to sever the Allied supply lines entirely, their strategic impact was undeniably profound. Post-war advancements in underwater vessel technology, especially those pioneered with the TPO XXI, catalyzed innovations that underpin modern submarine warfare today.